All right, now you're done. Now you can go.
Now we can go?
Yeah.
We can go? It's okay. It's all right. Y'all feel that? The heat is still on. We ain't even cooled off. It's Convo Kings in the studio, baby. We scorching today. Special guest, special recording, special night. Here today with us, we've got Orion and we've got Carolyn. Orion is the lead singer, frontman from the Craic Show.
Yeah.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing amazing, man. I'm living my best life and I'm having a great day.
That's great. That's great. And Carolyn, you chime in anytime you want to.
Oh, yeah.
The mics pick up. That's why we say the studio is always hot. Yes. You might even hear Daniel's heartbeat because of the fan that he is of the Craic Show.
Really,
Yes.
at work, everybody's like, "What are you listening to?" I'm like, "It's only the best band that I know."
All right. I like that, man.
That's right.
I think maybe you ought to be like a groupie or something.
Hey, that's possible. Anything's possible.
Tickets get on the boat.
Yes.
Right.
Third row.
Yeah.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Oh yeah. So let's jump right in. We got a little bit of time before they got to get away with us. Yes,
To the Iron Maiden concert tonight.
yes, they are stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be too to get to see Maiden live like
Oh
that.
man, yeah. I started listening to Maiden when I was like 15, 16 years old.
Right?
And the what was it, the Power Slave album had just come out.
Yes.
That's when I got into Maiden, was Power Slave first came out, man. That was a trip.
Yeah.
Bands these days just don't have that figurehead. Like Megadeth, they had Eddie, right?
No.
Maiden's got Eddie.
Maiden's got Eddie. Megadeth had Mr. Bones. Yes, I had them backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, because I'm an old rocker from the 80s, right? And I grew up, I was born in 71, so I was a kid in the 70s.
Right.
I was a teenager in the 80s, and I grew up with all that stuff. And in the 70s, I was a big Kiss fan.
Right.
In the 80s, got more into like the heavy metal and the heavy rock and roll, all those bands. And so when I formed the Craic Show, I mean, I brought all of that in. So I immediately knew I needed a figurehead, like you said, a figurehead.
Yes.
And that's what I'm like, okay, instead of comedy and tragedy, I want to have comedy and hilarity.
Yes.
And I want them to be skeletons because the whole thing is like almost like the whole thing about the Craic is like bringing dead things to life.
Right.
And that's been a foundation of the Craic since day one, is bringing dead things to life. And having a blast. And that's why I named the band the Craic, because crack is an Irish word.
Yep.
That means to have fun, tell a story, tell a joke. It's the time you're having. There's no direct translation from the Gaelic, but it's just like you're having the crack. Or you ask your friend, how was the crack last night?
Yes.
Or if you call them up and you're like, hey, what's the crack? And you're like, oh, or like, what's going on? How's it at the pub?
Right.
And so me and my buddy were talking about it. I'm like, I think I need to name the band Crack. Like Kiss. Like capital letters, Crack.
Yeah.
And he's like, Danny. He called me Danny all the time. He's like, Danny, when you're in Ireland, it's always the Crack. He's like, the Crack is this, the Crack is that. How's the Crack? He's like, you should name it the Crack. And I'm like, okay, buddy, you got it. And it is now the Crack.
The Craic, and it's stuck.
A couple years later, I found out that there was a band called Crack.
Right.
There was another band from Ireland called The Crack. And so I'm like, okay, we got to rebrand like real quick here. So that's when we attached the word show. So now it's The Craic Show. And that's how you differentiate between the three bands with the word crack in them.
Yeah, we had that issue.
Yes, we had that issue.
We named our show the Combo Kings. That we had like 10 or other.
Oh, damn, yeah.
Popped up after.
Yep.
You're just sitting there scrolling, and all of a sudden it's like,
Figure it out, yeah.
I'm looking for Convo Kings on Spotify. I'm looking for them on Amazon. I'm looking for them on iHeartRadio. And it's like, no, that's not us. That's not us. We're not on here. Dave, where'd we go? Where can you find us at?
Huh?
Where can you find us at? Everywhere. Now.
Yeah, right on.
But
Originally, it was just Spotify.
yes.
But now,
All over.
That's awesome, guys. Right on.
So that's what I was going to try to get you to go on, and you just kind of like read my mind there. So what was your first idea of getting a band together?
I had a band real similar to the Craic, way back in 2002, 3, right around there. So I went to Germany in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
And, saw and heard the medieval bagpipe. Now there's a band called Corvus Corax.
Okay.
That's very like Corvus Corax, you know. They and another band called In Extremo. They're all both German bands, Eastern Germany. Somebody in their company found an old book that had directions on how to build like a 15th century bagpipe from Germany. Like, it was all written in German. So this guy said, okay, cool, I'm going to give it a shot. He built a Renaissance/medieval bagpipe, the first one that had been built in probably 500-600 years.
Right.
And him and his buddies, started up a band and said, we're going to bring back the old music, the old piping music. This is the party music. This is the music of the people. This is the music that was not played in the court. It was played on the street and at the weddings and at the parties.
Yes.
And these guys, they refounded this whole genre of music. So I was in there at 99. They formed the band in probably 87.
Okay.
So they had already had a few albums out. And in 2000, I was back in Germany, and I got to see Corvus Corax, the band itself. Blew my mind. 5 bagpipers, 3 drummers, playing the best freaking music. This music that's hundreds of years old, and you're still standing there rocking out. They were a fully acoustic. Right. I mean, in this little tiny club that was full of cigarette smoke and smelled like beer and throw up, man. I mean, but it was the best freaking show ever. It was so good. I had a blast. And that was it. I was done. I had to have a set. So I ordered my first set, got him in, spent some time in Germany there, and then moved to Portland, Oregon, and then spent the next couple of years learning how to play, learning new songs. I'd go to the Multnomah County Library and listen to medieval music, Renaissance music, and I'm like, oh, I like that one. I like that one. And then I would basically reconfigure it to the bagpipes and just start playing it. And then right around 2002, I went to an SCA event in Washington.
Okay.
And for anybody who doesn't know, SCA is the Society for Creative Anachronisms. So they're modern day people pretending like they live in the past. Okay. I mean, to the stitching in their clothing, the fabric, the kind of, these guys are real hardcore, man. Some might
check
say,
out, Dave.
Yeah.
Some might say anal.
We're me and some of my friends that talking about building a longhouse.
Yeah.
So I brought my medieval bagpipe to these SCA events, and they were blown away. They had never seen a medieval bagpipe.
Right.
Wow.
They'd only seen like Highland pipes, the kind you play from Scotland. And these are 2 drone old school, man. And they sound very different. And they're just all like, okay, well, they didn't say it like this, but this is what they meant. We'll forgive your horrible clothing if you'll come to our event and play your medieval bagpipes.
Right.
And that's how I got started, man. Like right there about early 2000, playing at these SCA events, medieval piping. Because I mean, the tunes I'm playing were traditional medieval and Renaissance tunes.
Right.
So yeah, I had a blast learning. Oh, that was my foundations, And then in 2003, I formed a band, and it was called Odon Soterius, which is Greek for the way of salvation.
Okay.
And put out a couple of albums and had a blast. And then by the time I got to Florida, so I mean, went to college in Portland, did all that stuff. 5 years goes by. I'm in Florida. I divorced me and the German wife at the time divorced, and then I found myself back at the Tampa Bay Renaissance Fair in 2009, and then and so I'm like, okay, well, I got a bagpipe, I got some talent, I got some skills, I got some experience in this whole field of Renaissance fairs, and I just said, well, cool. So I spent the next 3 years just kind of like, doing duos and solos and whatever's, And then right about 2011, I was kind of filling in for a band called the Body Boys, and we were having a blast. And all of a sudden, man, I'm like, I think it's time to form a new band.
Yes.
And right there at the end of 2011, I talked to the Queen, she played the Queen, but she was also the entertainment director for the Tampa Bay Renaissance Fair. And I'm like, if you task me to put together a band that nobody's ever heard of, I will not fail you. And the Queen said, do it.
Do it. That's awesome.
And and I formed the Craic. The very first time we performed as the Craic Show was February 18th, 2012.
I was fixing to say, I heard earlier,
Yeah.
I've been trying to listen and get more familiar with the music and everything.
Cool.
From recordings, it's always best to hear y'all live when we go to the fest every year.
Yeah.
But we like to do that. But I've caught a lot of YouTube videos where it's your first show. And it's like the opening weekend for the Ren Fest here in North Carolina. But just that energy you come out on stage with, you're not only talking to the people in front of you, you're talking to the people out in Fairhaven.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always great.
That's cool to hear, man. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, your voice kind of rings out through the whole festival. You're sitting there watching the jousting, and you're hearing this guy like, who? I'm hearing this guy, but not seeing nobody. And then the music hits, and we're like, nah, horses are kind of boring now. Let's go find the rock music. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we call it heavy medieval.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the first times I got to go was actually with David and Joy.
Yeah.
And then Daniel come to work with us, and then we started going together. And he's like, if you haven't never watched it, you've got to come up here and watch these guys.
Cool.
He's like, you like this style of music? He said, it's here. It's just going to feel at home. And I'm like, Yeah. Because
he was a little apprehensive.
Yeah. He's known as the Shrimp King.
Yeah.
The show kind of follows me as the King Redneck.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm country and Southern rock and all that.
Yo,
and I'm like,
man.
okay. But went up there, instantly fell in love with it. I'm just like,
right on.
Been missing this for years.
Hell yeah, man.
It's like you want to say a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
It's awesome, man. That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. To it was he said it's heavy metal, and then he said the word bagpipes. I said, you got me a bagpipe.
Yep. Got me a bagpipe. But just the talent that it takes to not only play those things, but keep them blown up to where they keep playing.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I don't smoke or anything. I might hit a cigar every now and again, but I've never smoked that much in my life. But I don't think I'd have the wind to do that.
What's funny is it's mostly jaw muscles,
right?
More than your ability to blow hot air.
I got you.
Your jaw muscles are when you're learning bagpipes, man. Dude, these jaw muscles right here, man, they are killing you.
Right.
And then you're playing, and all of a sudden, like, you just can't hold that blowpipe in your mouth anymore, and you're just going.
Oh yeah.
The lung power comes, like fine, but yeah, it's those jaw muscles, man. Those are the ones you got to build up.
Oh yeah.
I played trumpet. So that was.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that embouchure, you got to have it.
That's gonna be the next sticker. Shrimp King blowing the trumpet.
Yep. I'm already working on it.
Oh yeah.
Right now.
So you mentioned earlier, y'all were in Tampa. Do you still try to do the full circuit, or are you just local here now? Or
God, no, we 2012 we got hired immediately, like from first show. We got hired immediately for 5 pirate events that were all up and down the coast of Florida.
Wow,
West Coast and East Coast. And then after that, we got hired immediately to do the fall August
Mm-hmm.
up in Pittsburgh at the Pittsburgh Renaissance Fair.
Okay.
And then as soon as the owner of the Pittsburgh Renaissance Fair, he had us at that show. And as soon as we finished, he hired us for his other fair, which is the Colorado Renaissance Fair.
Wow.
So for a couple of years, we did all the fairs in Florida,
Mhm.
big ones and small ones. And then we did Pittsburgh and Colorado. And then right around 2016, we decided to go full time.
Okay.
So that's when we're like, okay, let's take every single fair and try to hop from fair to fair to fair to fair with no weekends or one weekend off in between.
Right.
So right around 2017, we achieved our goal and had a full circuit, full circuit. Started in, end of January, early February.
Okay.
And it ended, December.
That's what I was fixing to say, because ours is in November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think Carolina, we were 17 or 18, right? Was when
Yeah.
we started
Mhm.
here.
It was 17.
17, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a good time. The group The Angels
Mm-hmm.
at the fair? Okay, there was one of the Angels. She was one of the founding members. Her real name's Sarah, and her and Megan, I think she's Red, and they were the ones that hounded Carolina Ren Fair to hire us.
Okay.
So it is. It's the Angels who got us into Carolina.
Okay.
I mean, oh, dude, yeah, no, they hounded, man. They hounded to get us in, and it was so cool. So I'm always, I always got a soft spot in my heart for the Angels because they helped us get into Carolina.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So going out through the full circuit or the full tour, do you have one that you look forward to every year? I mean, besides the Indy.
Carolina,
Yeah.
of course. I gotta say, my heart's always in Colorado.
I got you.
The Colorado Fair is in it began middle of summer. It's right outside of Denver, and everywhere in the U.S. is just hot as hell in summertime,
yeah.
right? Colorado, since it's a mile high, you'll have an 80, 85 degree day, but it doesn't feel that way. It's cool.
Yes.
You go into the shade, it's cool, and you'll be playing on stage in Colorado, and it's like 80 degrees, and it's awesome, and you're sweating on stage, and then all of a sudden, a hailstorm comes in. She freaking dumps hail and rain on you, and it drops down to like 50 degrees.
Wow.
In the middle of summer.
Oh yeah.
It's just the weirdest place.
You're looking around at your band members going, just go with it.
Yeah.
Go with it. Keep hitting.
My drummer Nato just reposted a video of us in Colorado playing in just a downpour of rain.
I bet that was pretty cool.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody in the audience they're just dancing. They're having a blast. So those Colorado people, man, they are crazy and I love them.
Yeah.
And I've been at that fair since 2013.
Okay.
So I love it there.
Right.
Just love that fair.
So where are you off to next?
We got 2 months off. Thank God.
Mhm.
We are gonna hang out. But what's really fun, just this year, for the first time, really. So I got hit up by 2 different festivals in the middle of December,
Okay.
and there was like, hey, is the Craic Show available? And I'm like, no, we all disband and go our own separate ways. But if you want a solo piper to run around in the lanes and play bagpipes and toast and tell jokes to patrons, I go, I'll do it.
Right.
You just pay all my expenses and give me a good amount of money, and I'll do it.
Yeah. Dang right.
So one of them opted out, but the other one said yeah. So me and Carolyn we're gonna go to Corpus Christi in the middle of December
Okay.
and do a 1 weekend Renaissance fair. What's it called? Ingleside. The Ingleside Renaissance Fair.
The home of Sabine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty excited, to do that kind of. And I just ordered a brand new medieval bagpipe from Germany. It's called a market pipe, so it's not crazy loud, but it's not crazy quiet either. Like you could play it with other instruments. Like if we had a jam here with guitars and violins and stuff, I could actually play this bagpipe and it would just kind of hold its own.
It wouldn't overpower.
Wouldn't overpower.
Yeah.
So I just ordered that thing. So I'll take that with me when I go to this fair.
That's cool.
And it's gonna be a blast. I'd probably have 50, 80 toasts in my head,
Right.
with a lot of funny medieval and Renaissance jokes that I could tell. And so we just bought Carolyn a nice little pretty little drum so she can beat on a simple drum and pipe. And
She's just sitting there grinning. She's like, no.
it's gonna be a great time. I can't wait. Maybe to play bagpipes and do toasts and drink.
That's awesome.
That's the life, right?
Yeah, that's the life.
I'm a happy man,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do something, you need to do something you love.
Yeah. Speaking of things we love, Mama just got in.
All right.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I mean, we start tour at the beginning of February. We end tour here right before Thanksgiving, and then we take 2 months off. And that's been the drill for a few years now.
Okay,
and
that's
I
cool.
love it. I love it.
That's cool. How do the sizes differ when you go from town to town? Is like Colorado, is it a huge festival compared to, I mean,
Right.
the only one we know? I mean, that's something we've been talking about for years, taking a plane and just buying a ticket one weekend, flying to another festival.
Go to Colorado.
Go to Colorado?
Colorado.
Yeah.
It's a great fair. But yeah, no, I mean, now the permanent sites, they're all a decent size.
Right.
They're about this size. Colorado's probably, it's just laid out differently, but it's about the same size. as this
Okay.
one.
Okay.
And what's the other?
Arizona?
Yeah, Arizona's same owner as this one owns
I
Arizona.
did hear that.
Okay. I did not know
And,
that.
and that one's probably bigger than this one is. It's got a big giant loop that you can go around, but then it has a second loop on the side of that loop. It's a big fair, big
Okay.
fair, and it's cool. It's right outside of Phoenix, and it's all flat and it's all
Right.
desert, and there's a couple of trees.
Couple of trees.
Somebody's fighting for shit.
That's right. That's right.
It's in February and March.
Okay.
So it's not very hot. What was that?
Prettiest backstage.
Oh God, prettiest. The Superstition Mountains are backstage here.
Oh, really?
Just gorgeous.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
And
we have a love out in that area. So that sounds like a good week trip. Yes. So you can see up here on the wall, we
Oh,
got
there it is. Yeah.
Doc Holiday, and then we've got Wyatt and Doc up here above the door. So we've been rolling it over to Coles for years of going riding down the streets of Tombstone, having a drink where they did up there at the bar.
Yeah, man.
And to be able to do that
That sounds awesome.
and then go to the fest.
Did get to see the Craic Show?
I mean, we're going to have to pack a lot of luggage because we're going to have to go from Cowboy to Ragnar, but I think you can pull it off. I think, yeah, I got faith in you.
If you go for the first weekend of the Arizona Fair,
Right?
you can head into Tucson for the Gem and Mineral Show.
Oh,
It is one
Okay.
of the largest gem and mineral shows in the country. The entire city of Tucson, Arizona becomes a giant gem and mineral show. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
got crystals, you got gems,
Oh,
you
yeah.
got all kinds of cool stuff. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Petrified dinosaur bones, like I mean,
Okay.
just you seen those cool little those little critters, those sea creatures.
Mhm.
You see them and they're like maybe a couple of inches big.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these are like 3 feet big. They're
Wow.
massive. Like you've never seen anything like it. And like I said, the whole city of Tucson. So if you can actually get there in the beginning of February,
Right?
go to Tombstone, check that out. Go to Tucson, check out the Gem and Mineral Show, and then come into Phoenix for the Ren Fair. That is going to be a week you'll never forget.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. That'd be a great way to start the year, too.
Oh yeah.
Right.
When Texas Fair.
The big Texas Renaissance Fair. It's funny. In my 24 years of doing this, no, I have never been to the Texas Renaissance
I
Fair.
heard they got a lot of drama in it.
You're gonna hear that. There's drama everywhere.
I'm sure.
Some people love it and swear by it. Other people said, "I'll never do that fair again." And it's a matter of taste and opinion, it's like everything else.
Right.
Right.
But it is the largest fair in America.
Mm-hmm.
It's 8 weeks long, and people tell me that if you work that fair, you'll make double the money that you've ever made.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, but I heard they average 60,000 people in a weekend.
Oh my gosh.
It's its own city,
Right.
you know, and the owner of the fair is the mayor of the city, like legally. So
I'm thinking hours.
it goes from like I think 10 in the morning to like 9:30 at night.
I think we've got like
Netflix show too.
400 tickets per weekend. I mean, like per day. I think is all they've got to sell for the Carolina Ren Fest.
Oh
Yeah.
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 So much more when you
It
go
does
to-
feel like a bunch more people when you're in there. Yeah. But I
Right.
could not imagine going somewhere where there's 60,000 people
But that would be in a week. It's like probably 30 on
Yeah,
one day.
on
but-
one day.
But Carolina is about half that. I mean, you know, a few years ago, like I remember, we hit like 15,000 people
Mm-hmm.
at the Carolina Fair, and that was a packed day. That was like this last weekend of what was it, Celtic weekend.
Okay.
That was probably up there in the 14,
Yeah.
15.
Okay.
That was right.
Yeah. Yeah, they were up there. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go, but it's one of those things. I'll be back.
Cool,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I had a mug from every year, and unfortunately, some of those got gone.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just some stuff you can't get back, but the memories are always there.
definitely, man. Yeah.
It's definitely like a place you just kind of, I don't know. For me, I just release reality for a little bit.
Yes.
We were talking
You
about.
know, and that's the best thing about Ren Fair, man.
Yeah.
The second you walk through those gates, it's like that outside world doesn't exist
Yeah.
No.
anymore.
I've never seen any trouble up there. You walk in, everybody's happy. There's nobody pushing, fighting.
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
it just you walk
Feel like
around,
home.
everybody's yeah.
I feel at home. Like it's like the town fair that's just being.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we got some good, we got some good fans, like big fans. You know, they're at every single show, and and I'll talk to them outside of fair, and they're like, either highly political or highly this or that, or they're extremely one-sided. But when they're in the fair,
Yeah.
All
doesn't-
that's gone.
all of it's gone.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
awesome.
that's kind of what we're here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all
Nice.
have a bunch of different views. But once we
Mhm.
step in the studio, it's
Yeah, man. And me and Carolyn, we get to live that. That's our life.
Mhm.
You know, even during the week, because most of the time we camp on the site,
Right.
and it's like, we live in community, and it's a small little campground of performers and vendors,
yeah.
and man, it's amazing. It's amazing that
Right.
and living in this lifestyle for so many years now. It's like I forget that there's a U.S. out there
Oh yeah.
tearing itself apart,
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how I felt like the whole week I was in Norway.
Yeah.
There was a U.S. out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right. I could
Normal's overrated.
yeah, I could see in going full time
yeah.
and just forgetting everything else.
Because my job is to take people out of their head and out of the present situation, like all the modern times we live in. My job is to take them out of that and to give them an experience and a joy that they can then hopefully take into their soul and their spirit, and then when they go back out through those gates, they can hold on to a piece of that and maybe live a little bit of a better life, maybe not worry so much, maybe just remember, oh man, I remember the Ren Fair and we had a blast and the Craic Show was rocking, and
Yeah.
it's like just have those good memories in their head. And hopefully my hope is that when they're concerned about something in everyday life,
Mm-hmm.
if it's their job or the politics or the religion or whatever, they can draw on a memory that
Right.
I helped create, and that brings me peace and joy in my soul like nothing ever has.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
For sure, for me, you do that for me and Miss Joy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we thoroughly enjoy it. And Daniel this year, he
I tell people, I was like, going back, it's me coming again, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like some of the happiest I've seen him, especially when they were on stage doing.
Dude, when you got a beard
Yeah.
and turkey leg in your hands, man,
Ain't that right?
yeah, I told people, I said everybody like, what's the one thing you recommend the most when you go to Ren's office? I said the Craic Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said that's number one. I said the second one's turkey leg.
Mm-hmm. Some of the best times you'll find is either around a good show,
Yeah.
good music, and usually where there's good music, there's good alcohol.
Oh yeah.
And then you get good food in, and you'll just find the best people.
Indeed, man.
It's really good food. I was really surprised the first time I went.
They really do, and at decent prices too. At
Yeah.
real decent prices.
Yeah.
We did I won't say which one it was. We did a fair, and my God, everything just skyrocketing prices. What's a turkey like here? It's 15, 16 bucks?
Yeah, about $15.
Okay, yeah. I think it was like 21, 22
Wow.
for a turkey leg.
Wow.
Beer was like, I mean, everything was probably $5 more than you would expect, and then even more than that.
That's
You want a
true.
scoop of ice cream? Well, that'll be $15. You know, it was crazy.
They're just taking advantage of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I couldn't imagine ticket prices to get in.
Yeah, it was about $50.
Yeah.
At this particular fair.
34.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 40, 45 or 49. And you had another $12 parking on top of that,
Oh wow.
you know? And that was just to get in the fair.
See, like you can tell, I'm very partial to the Carolina.
Yes.
The Carolina Fair is
It's not
magic,
magic, but I
man.
love them.
It's magic. I love this fair. I love nearly everything about it. Even the rain days. You know, when you have a rain day here,
Right.
it's the Carolina rain is this soft, steady, consistent rain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I'll put on my wool cloak and I'll
Yeah.
walk the fair in the rain, and you know, and it's like it's such a steady, beautiful rain that it's not like in your face. It's not going,
Right.
seek shelter now like a downpour in Florida or something.
About July.
Really insane and
May is our big month for storms.
Oh, is it really?
May.
Okay, well, what I'm here, it's nothing but these subtle, beautiful light rains. You know, they last like 3 days sometimes, but
Right.
you know, it's
Yeah.
good.
I usually that's why I enjoyed ours. It's later in the year.
Yeah.
Normally, it's not 70 degrees past the night circle of hell, and it's great weather. I usually throw my duster on
Yeah.
just so if it's a pop-up shower, at least I'll be dry when I take it off.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's always a great time.
It is. It's a beautiful fair. There's beautiful people, and I love our new stage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we were wondering that was if you liked where y'all had moved or not, but you're right by the front too.
Yeah, we're right by the front, and a lot of people have complained about that stage because past midday, right around 3-4 o'clock, it empties out in the front of the fair because most people because it's the horseshoe. You know, you
Right.
go all the way around and then you exit out the back. Well, most people do that, and so in the front there's not a whole lot of people. So
Mhm.
I heard that a lot of people complained about our stage because after 2-3 o'clock, nobody's coming to your show.
Everybody's jousting in there.
You know, you're jousting. They're out there. They're watching mermaids. They're you know whatever. And so, but we haven't really had a problem with that because we're
Okay.
loud as hell.
Right.
For one thing. And so
You attract people
everybody,
back.
you know, everybody who's in that general area will hear us start,
Mhm.
and then they all come over. And you know, we haven't had under 200 people at any of our shows.
Right.
And we have seating for about 500, but you know, so when you have 200 people with 500 seats, it looks like it's a little empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there, I'm counting, man. I'm counting the people, and I'm like, no, we got 200 people
Mhm.
Yeah,
there.
there's a nice crowd once it
Yeah.
starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so even at the 4:15 show, it's like we're still drawing over 200 people per show, and these people are having the time of their lives, man. They're having a blast.
No, I
Oh, yeah.
Having the crack.
Right. Having the crack. That's exactly right. And the
You're attracting people back to their spots in the front where
Yeah. Yep, and we've had a lot of vendors actually come up and say, you know, like, oh, it's so good to have music and people
Yeah.
back here
yeah.
later in the day again, you know. Yeah, so yeah, that's been real nice.
Oh
got
yeah.
life back to it.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
I know that they going through like Norway and Germany and all that. When I have my Craic Show coat on.
Oh, yeah,
most
yeah.
of the time.
Mhm.
It's chilly, and they was like, I get these, and they look, you know, I know they were because I see people do this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that I know
What is
they're
that?
probably yeah.
What is that?
That's cool.
Oh.
Yeah. I was running through customs a couple times, and I had a couple people looking at me like, "What is that?" I seen them, you'll whip out their phones.
Yep.
A couple seconds later.
Nice.
It's like, yeah, play that one.
Yeah.
Very loud. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. Even on Spotify and all the streaming networks, we have 2 now. So we have the Craic, which is our first 3 albums, and then the Craic Show, which is the live double, and then the new album Icons.
Right.
And if I can plug the new album Icons, man, my God,
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is the best work.
I'm going to put some links on our stuff too.
Yeah, dude, thanks.
Yeah.
No, this new album we recorded here actually last year.
Mm-hmm.
The track 14, the last song called "We're the Craic Show." I went out there with my phone and recorded the audience going, "We're the Craic Show." I'm like, let's do it again. We're the Craic Show. I go, okay, now let's do it again, but hold out show. And they did it, and I got it all recorded on my phone, and I used that in the recording of the actual song.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we were there when he did that.
Yeah.
Last year?
Uh-huh. I'm pretty sure we were there because I was like, he's recording there.
That's awesome.
You are on the album because I used that.
That's awesome.
And I only did it one day, so you were there the day I did
Yeah,
it.
because I remember. Yeah, I do remember that pretty well.
That's
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
That's awesome.
I've been during Celtic weekend. That seems like what's
Probably, huh?
Mhm.
We always go.
We do go. We go several times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we'll miss something, and we're like, well, let's go back.
Oh, yeah. There's always next weekend.
Enjoy it.
Well, that and Miss Joy puts on the dog the first time she goes, and she can't really do all the stuff that because she dresses as like the vulva, and, almost looks like Highland. a little
Mhm.
bit.
Nice, right on.
I
Yeah,
dressed
yeah.
up for the first time this year.
Yeah, he did. We
Nah,
got him out there. He was a fry.
All right, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that, man.
Yeah, he did real well.
He did.
Yeah.
I was proud of him after he got in there.
So we're big here about building one another up. We
Yeah.
talk about our low point at some time. Has there been a low point in the career doing the music?
Anytime, God, we've gone through at least a dozen musicians,
Right.
in the 12 years that the Craic's been around, and every time somebody either quits or gets asked to leave, and it's never a good time.
Right.
It's never a good time, and then you're like, now I got to replace that person.
Yes.
We've had that.
Oh yeah.
And so those are the low points, is when you got to replace somebody.
Yeah.
And and I never fault anybody for wanting to leave the band, either to do something else or just get off the road.
Right.
Yeah.
10 months on the road, man.
That's all right.
It's like, you are on the road and you do not have a home. Your RV or your trailer or whatever you got,
Mhm.
that's your home.
Yeah.
And I've done several ways. Like I've done Airbnbs, I've done hotels, now I'm in the RV, and Carolyn and I love this life. This
Right.
is something we absolutely love.
I mean, you have to embody the whole thing.
You do, yeah, you really do. But I would say those are probably the low points. It's like when you got to switch musicians, and then I always think of the Craic as very simplistic, heavy, in your face music. But then when I'm trying to teach a new person, I'm like, damn, we're really complicated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is some complicated music and complicated arrangements. And it never, I've been doing it for so long, it doesn't strike me as complicated until I have to teach a new person.
Right.
Woo! And last year we got Nathan in the band, and man, that boy brought it to a whole new level.
Oh yeah.
He's been playing violin since he was a little
man, he
kid.
rocks out.
Yeah. Nathan the Red.
Oh, dude, man,
Yeah.
he is killing it.
Yes.
And then talk about Neto, man, from Brazil, our drummer Neto. Man, he got rid of everything, a career and a life in Brazil to come to America to seek his dreams to try to play drums in America.
Okay.
Spent all of his money on a 3-year work visa.
Wow.
He did everything right. Landed in Austin, Texas, and his band fell through.
Oh no. Oh no.
And then at the same point, I put out an ad going, I need a drummer to tour America.
Right.
He was the only guy that answered it.
Wow.
Oh wow. Welcome to the Craic.
I got evidence.
Yes. Yes. So what keeps you going?
Oh man, the joy of bringing that joy and
It's magic.
otherness
Yeah,
to the audience. You know what I mean? Like, I'm addicted to the stage. I'm addicted to bringing joy, taking people out of their heads and their thoughts, and because it's like we all got that stupid voice in our head. We all get in our heads. And,
Oh yeah.
and sometimes it becomes unbearable and we can't control it. And like I get to be a little piece, some little thing, in their head that they can then just like boom, and it helps push it all out. And then they're like, I had the crack with the crack. I went to the Ren Fair and I felt at home. I experienced this thing, this music, this time, this day, and it changed my life.
That's awesome.
And it's like I want people to feel the freedom of softening that voice in your head.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's like that is my goal in life, is to try to get people to realize the beauty in life, and that and to take the negativity out of the voice in your head.
Right.
So that way you can live in the present moment. You're not stressing about the future. You're not regretting the past. You're here and now.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I could be the smallest part of that journey, man, there's nothing better.
That's awesome.
It's officially combo.
Yes. Yes.
I love how you at the beginning of your
I
show,
remember.
Toast, when you talk about that.
Yeah.
I love that how you bring everybody kind of in.
Yeah, man. It is a community. And now with the new song, We're the Craic Show,
Mhm.
I love that, because at the end of the day, I tell people it's not you and us, and there's no line between you and us. It's not the band, it's not the audience. It's a circle, and that we're all together in this, and I try to just bring that in to where it's like, no, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
There's that saying that I thought about the other day. That is, we're all just walking each other home.
That's exactly right.
I like that, man.
That's
cool.
exactly right.
And when he did that show, it was the first time I experienced that.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's right.
Yeah.
I had that. I don't know. It hit my head a few weeks ago, and I was like, you know what? Everybody, we're just walking each other home.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
man.
right.
And that kind of hit.
Yeah, the one that struck me, and I was going to see if you would take us out on that, because most importantly, we don't want to make y'all late for
No.
Maiden tonight. Yeah, I know we're probably running close on time, but okay, that's cool. But one of the things that I do from time to time, I remember in the Masonic Lodge here in Monroe in Union County, we kind of do like a closing charge.
Okay.
And I heard you use, I think you've put a different spin on it, but the Irish blessing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I heard you do that in a show the other.
Yeah.
It might have been a year back, and like I said,
Every show.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah,
All right. Let's do it. So I'll say a toast, and then you guys say a toast. All right.
Yeah.
awesome.
We got to pour drinks. dude.
Yeah, we gotta have some glasses.
I know this ain't film, but we gotta.
Yes,
Oh, it is.
it is filmed.
We are being filmed. We gotta do some drinking. Cause all right, there you go.
Miss Joy, your host kind of fell off. I forgot your bottle opener. Yeah, that might have to be a parting gift that we send them home with a bottle of mead.
That's,
Yeah,
What's the thing?
won't say no.
yeah.
That's I love this song. I've seen the Irish Blessing over and over, and so, but I wanted to rearrange it a little bit,
Right.
to fit the crack, and so I said this: a toast.
A toast.
May the road rise up to meet you, and the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and may you never lack. And may all your days from this unto that be ever full of good Irish crack. Sucha.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because that's how the last show. That's where I remember. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Sometimes when I do that toast at the end of a fair,
Mhm.
at the end of the last day, last film, You know, I can't even get it out.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even get it out, man.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So while we're on, let all the fans know, everybody that listens to the Convo Kings, the following that the Craic Show has. Let us know where all we can find your music.
Yep.
So if you go onto your streaming platform and you type in the Craic, Craic, Craic. If you type that in, you'll get our 3 older albums.
Okay.
If you type in the Craic Show, you'll get the 2 newer albums, especially the new album called Icons. So if you type in just Craic Icons, you'll get the album.
Okay.
We stream everywhere, all around the world. But this is the painful truth. You have to play 3 songs in order for us to make 1 penny.
Oh, wow.
That is.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
The sad truth.
I think I've made you maybe a quarter today. I've been jamming through it about all day.
So if you go to thecraicshow.com, that's our website. You can buy all of our merch, and that's what really matters. You buy our merch, and that's what keeps the band going.
Right.
You buy the albums. We have a thumb drive, a USB drive, and it has all 5 Craic Show albums on it.
Okay.
But no, man, stream Icons constantly. Just stream that album. I'm more proud of that album than anything I've ever done in my life. It is such a good album. And all the current members of the band are on the album. They all worked their butts off to try to make the best album they could.
Yes.
And me and Carolyn were down in Florida last year. Went to my buddy Jerry Berry, and his studio in Florida, and we mixed it all up there. Awesome. We mastered it. We put it out there, and the Icons album is amazing, and it is a concept album. It tells the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a cool concept album, and and the song "We're the Craic Show." There's 3 verses, and it's a day at Ren Fair. The first verse is the morning when you're getting ready to go to Ren Fair.
Right.
Second verse is you're at the fair, and third verse is sunset and it's time to go home. But we had a great time.
That's all. Yeah, it's always the worst part of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, walking back out, seeing everybody up there waving by, we're like, we don't want it to be over. Yeah, that's good stuff.
It is. It's wonderful, man. You right now are here every time we get done.
Yeah,
Right.
Absolutely.
That makes me happy.
Absolutely.
And for me, you're always the highlight.
That
Yeah.
makes me so happy.
No, I'm
Because
telling you,
myself,
like I told you before we started recording, this one right here, she walked around that thing the whole. She would not believe me. I was like, "They're here. I promise you. I've seen them on social media."
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't see it, and she was getting mad. She was like, "I wasted my time.
Mm-hmm.
I wasted my money. I came here for the Craic."
Yep.
And, so she's got like we've gotten the buttons, we got, I got the jacket and stuff like that. So we've always been.
I'm wanting one of what he calls the short cloak, the hoodie. Yeah.
I got the zip up hoodie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what though, man. Like the carrying t-shirts and hoodies is the biggest pain in the butt.
Oh yes.
So I'm just starting to learn that whole print on demand.
You need to
stuff
look
that
at
we can.
Bonfire.
What's that?
Bonfire.
Okay.
It's one of those print on demand.
Yeah.
But it's one of the ones that pays out the best.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for that tip.
Yep.
Because that's what I want to get going. My goal is to get a good print on demand on the website by the end of this month, so people can start to order for Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Even for small stuff, Miss Joy makes all that.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's
She
good
does
stuff.
templates and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Yeah.
The stickers. She
Huh?
did the stickers.
Yeah, she did the stickers. And
Cool,
I
yeah.
made sure I gave her the stickers.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she stayed up late. She like give them these.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told them.
I got him in my sparring.
Yeah. We're gonna send them home with a little swag. Yeah. Well, that's good stuff, guys. That's yeah. Yeah. Well, the 23rd will be the day before the last show.
Yeah.
we're on the waiting list. So
Awesome.
if everything goes right, you'll see us in the crowd again.
Right on.
And
I'm sure you'll make it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll make
we'll just barge in, cut trees down, and just
There you go.
make our way in. Yeah.
Oh, they don't shoot that cannon there.
Real quick. Thursday before, I guess that would be the 20th, maybe, or
Maybe somewhere around there.
19th, something like that. So we have to sign a contract every year, and in the contract there is a no compete clause, which means you can't perform as the Craic Show outside of the Renaissance Fair.
I got you.
So we formed another band.
Nothing wrong with that.
So we got a steampunk band called Clockwork Not Work, and we perform at Trouse Brewery in Mount Holly.
Okay.
We've already done a couple of those.
Right down the road.
We performed at the Rooster in Gastonia, Gastonia, right? Performed at the Rooster, and we did another one too. But our last show is Clockwork Not Work is going to be the Thursday before the final weekend.
Okay.
It's on it's
They
on
have
the
to try to do
website,
that.
thecraicshow.com. If you look at the but it's a free event. It's a huge brewery, really good brews, good food, good beer, good company.
Okay.
And that last night, I can tell you right now, is gonna be a good night.
Oh yeah.
So we do some of the Craic Show songs. We all dress in steampunk with the goggles and the top hat and everything.
Yeah.
And,
Dustin loves steam.
I love steam. Yes.
we do a lot of other songs, so we get to delve into ragtime and jazz and blues and rock and roll, so it is a good time, and that is going to be a great show. So if you
That
can make
might
it,
have to be a Friday day off.
Thursday, day off.
Yeah. Yeah. See them on Thursday and take the day off on Friday and then go to the Yes.
Yeah.
Boss that world.
That's right.
There you go. So y'all, please help out with that link, and it's gonna be a good time. I'm sure Cross Brewery's already got a Facebook event page up and running, so it's gonna be good.
Stuff. I'll even put it all over my TikTok. I'm actually growing, y'all. I'm telling you what, I'm catching ground,
That's good.
and so it's gonna be I think I'm within like 2 or 3 months. I've got it like 6,000 on TikTok.
That's awesome.
YouTube is hard,
Yes, it is.
very, very, very hard. But I'm up to almost 400 now. So,
That's awesome.
so
We just conquered the 10,000 followers on YouTube.
yeah, that is
Wow. After 12 years.
Yeah.
It is, man.
Dig your heels in. And,
always replace the algorithm.
yes.
So it's not the algorithm, it's the audience.
It's the audience.
So if you're not getting the views, it's what you're doing.
Yes.
Right on, man. I like
Yes.
that. That's good advice.
Well, that's good stuff. Well, y'all, all for the listeners out there in Convo Kings world, y'all hit, yeah, especially.
Yeah, he's one of our big listeners. So.
Yes. No matter where they are, y'all hit up these Ren Fest. Y'all go support the Craic Show. Go pay these guys a visit. Buy a shirt. Buy a hoodie. Go home with a pen. Buy a hoodie for somebody you don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing best. Yeah, that's exactly right. Go support these guys. Yeah, and then keep it. Yeah,
There you go.
that's right.
Yeah.
Point and laugh. Look what I
definitely Buy the CDs, even if you don't have the CD.
Yeah, I'm thinking about one of the thumb drives. Just
Those
like,
thumb drives
yeah.
are awesome. They work great.
Get the CD and have you sign it. That's
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's what we. A lot of stuff that I like to do in the studio.
that'd be one that we'd hang up in the studio.
Yeah,
and,
that sounds perfect.
yeah. All right, guys.
I'm
Well,
sure Miss Joy's coveted picture.
oh yes, oh
Let's do
yes. But until next time,
Yeah.
we're halfway through the week. Again, special guest today. It's been great, guys. We appreciate y'all coming through,
Thank you.
and hope y'all have a hell of a crack at the maiden show tonight.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Made it.
yes. Daniel, what you got? You just look in awe, baby. He's starstruck. I ain't seen you smile this much since.
He like when we were in here, he was like, "It's got to be just perfect."
Yes.
Got all the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I took about 2 hours off.
I'm sitting there feeding the dogs, and he's like, "I'm on my way." I'm like,
Oh, my way. I'm coming. I'm coming. Yes, in spirit, he was there. Well, guys, it's been a hell of a show.
Yeah,
We appreciate y'all being. We coming in hot. Y'all keep it hot.